Life.
What's up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So I'm back with another reaction video for you guys. Listen, before we hop into the video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. It's free to subscribe, share and like the video, and turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content, all right? So we're talking about Mr. Tendernism today, y'all. So if you have not heard, Mr. Tendernism was fired, y'all. He was fired.
Oh my God.
And there's a whole lot more going on with this story where the man was fired and allegedly, you know, he has no ties to the business. They've even trademarked his name, Mr. Tendernism. So they're saying that he can't use that name. And he has no rights or no say or anything when he created the name Mr. Tendernism. He shared his recipes and all of these things that this business is now using, and they fired him and he has no parts in it. So people were speculating about whether he had any stake in the business, whether he was a co-part owner, and apparently he is not. So he's walked away, or they fired him from the business without any attachment. He has no say, no stake in it whatsoever. But there is some good that is coming out of this situation. I want to show this video from Poetic Flaco. Shout out to Flaco. Flaco is doing his thing. I want to react to his video because he gives more depth to what is actually going on in this situation, and or more context to what is actually happening behind the scenes with Mr. Tendernism, and how Mr. Tendernism is getting some help to go ahead and start his own business, and how he can move forward from this process, y'all. And I'll give my 2 cents on it as we go through the video, but make sure you chime in the comments and let me know your thoughts on this one. And also go over and follow Poetic Flaco if you haven't already, and support his channel as well. Let's get into the video.
Wow. Oh my God. I knew something nefarious was going on. I didn't know these folks was this cutthroat. Destination Smokehouse just did the OG Walter Johnson, aka Mr. Tenderism. Absolutely filthy. People have been calling out the red flags with Mr. Tenderism's partnership with Destination Smokehouse from day one, but I don't think anybody could have predicted how foul, how filthy, how dirty Destination Smokehouse would have done Mr. Tenderism. So the main issue a lot of people had from day one was when they figured out that the only reason why anybody was coming to the Destination Smokehouse and was coming to the restaurant was because of Mr. Tenderism, right, in his viral videos. So when people found out that he was not an owner, people were upset. People took to social media damn near looking to cancel and boycott Destination Smokehouse.
Finding out that Tendernism destination was not Black owned was not on my bingo card in 2025. Especially people that talk about, well, me, as somebody that talks about generational trauma and reparations. For everybody saying, I don't see the problem with it. The fact that this man was able to grow a business is exactly what slaves did in this country. We picked cotton, we made the US billions, and then they gave us our freedom, and now we're still fighting for reparations in 2025, while every other nationality that has ever been wronged in this country has pretty much received some type of reparation.
Y'all owe her an apology. I ain't forget. I know who you are in the comments. I'm gonna go back to the original video. You owe her an apology, bruh. Because we called her, well, I'm telling on myself now, man, all right? But
Yeah, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people got backlash for saying that, but it ended up being the truth. And I mean, we all know, you know, how this country, the history of this country and how it's worked, and how a lot of Black people have been very creative in creating certain things, and they have not been given the full credit for it, that somebody else, you know, stole their inventions or stole their you know, their ideas, and have benefit off of it, and generations of their people have benefited off of the creations of Black people. So we know how this works. We know, we saw it on TikTok with the creative dance moves that a lot of the Black young women and men were creating these dance moves, but they weren't getting the credit for it. And these other people were stealing the ideas and ended up on the Ellen DeGeneres show and being credited for that. And they never gave credit to the original creators of the dances. So what they decided to do was remove the dances from TikTok. And since they've done that, you don't see any more dances. You don't see a whole bunch of others doing the dances and creating it, because they were biting off of a lot of the Black people's innovations and styles. This is not a new occurrence. This has been happening for years. And this Mr. Tendernism situation is no different. But let's get back to Flaco. Here we go.
y'all called her crazy. A lot of y'all was in my comment section saying, man, bro, stop trying to ruin a good thing for the old man. Go get a job. Because a lot of us fell for the PR interview they did. During this PR interview, to get the public off their back, they used a whole lot of tricky words to manipulate us into thinking that they weren't exploiting Walter, that Mr. Tendernism, aka Walter, was actually an owner, but they didn't just outright say he's an owner. And that's how I knew they were using tricky language to manipulate, because if he was an owner, you would just say he's an owner.
To offer a tip to a business owner was crazy. That was the other thing too, is like he really thinks Walt is like this helpless guy who needs his help. How are you going to tip a business owner? Tip the whole staff.
That's the first time he referenced Walter as an owner. But when they ask him directly, is Walter an owner? Watch how they duck goose it. Watch how they try to use tricky language to get around it.
People want to know, like, Walt, you're doing so much to help this brand. Do Walter have ownership or equity in a Destination Smokehouse? Is that something that you can share?
Everybody's business ain't nobody's business. But this is how I put it. I'm telling you that. It's my business. It's whatever. It's Nick's business. That sharing your business, all of this here, we just have Destination One in the nation.
Yeah, that was a red flag right there. That he didn't have any ownership or equity. That was the truth. They sidestep in and all that with the answers, but he's like almost, he's trying to protect that owner and, protect his job. But he didn't have any ownership apparently. And that's what people was trying to find out, because I will say our people, we're not stupid. When we come together and use our senses, it's there. And so they realized that this man allegedly was using Mr. Tendernism because he was getting all of the, people were coming to his page and they were liking what he was doing, and it was drawing customers to the business. He drew people in because I honestly, before Mr. Tendernism, I had no idea of this business. I knew nothing about this his spot. I didn't know anything about it. So Mr. Tendernism for sure, drew people toward the business, and the draw was Mr. Tendernism. That was it. And so people automatically assumed that he owned the business. And when they found out, that was the turn off. Let's continue.
I can't get all sharing personal, how much money or this and that. I'm letting, we cut this dude chase. He's not taking advantage of me. We're going to be here until the end.
And as far as ownership goes, as much as I'll say, because I'm going to respect Walt's privacy, Walt is definitely a part of this business. He is not an employee. I would be safe to say that the finances that we have both been able to increase into our bank account since we've been here has been something great for both of us.
Whatever they selling, the OG was buying it, bruh. They sold the OG the dream so cold. The OG was telling us that we start in trouble, that we drama queens, that we got to stop with the narratives. And he was riding with them 100%.
The same two people on this podcast right now. It's the same two people know something about Destination. But see, the media just get off and run with the negative stuff. And I tell them all the time, don't be feeding into that negativity, because they ain't not just somebody trying to push, divide and conquer.
We didn't know the truth until today, but when this first dropped, a lot of people began to speculate. Because shortly after this interview, the trademark applications got released, and we got to see and witness, hold on, Destination Smokehouse applied for the Tendernism trademark, even though the Tendernism was started and owned by the OG Walter. But they applied for the trademark under a different name, so we wouldn't know it was them applying. That's when it all kind of hit. Oh, hold on. They told Walter, like he's owner or he has like an ownership stake in Destination Smokehouse. So these slick devils gave the OG Walter, I guess, stake in the sub company while they was buying up and owning everything under the parent company. So the OG Walter owned nothing.
Restaurant, Destination Smokehouse. But when you check the trademark records, there's a separate company called Diamond Smokehouse who filed subsequent trademarks after attorney Kenneth Harris. And so inquiring minds are probably thinking, well, who is Diamond Smokehouse? Because the white boy we see on TikTok with Mr. Walt, Mr. Tendernism, his company is called Destination Smokehouse. But we do thorough research around here. So let's figure out who owns Diamond Smokehouse. Now, when I did my research on the California Secretary of State site, when you search Diamond Smokehouse, the owner, as you can see below, is Nicholas Yapriman. Okay. Now let's go search for Destination Smokehouse and see, is it the same owner? All right, so when you pull the formal paperwork for Destination Smokehouse, you can see the name at the top. In the section that says officers, you see the same name, Nicholas Yapirian. So we conclude that Diamond Smokehouse, who filed the trademark for Tendernism, is owned by Nicholas, who also owns Destination Smokehouse. Now, there are some statements going around on social media that, hey, Mr. Tendernism actually is a business owner with Nicholas, and he owns a portion of Destination Smokehouse. As we can see from the official paperwork, that is not true. Walt, Mr. Tendernism, he's not listed on any of the formal paperwork. The only way he would have an ownership interest in the company is if they transferred ownership shares of the corporation to him.
Let's get to the update, though. Today we found out not only did he not own anything, but he was an employee. And we know he was an employee the entire time because they fired him today. They kicked him to the curb. And now he went home with absolutely nothing after building a multi-million-dollar company for these people. Now, we got signs that something was very wrong when Mr. Tenderism started a new Instagram separate from Destination Smokehouse, and he had some subtle messaging within the new Instagram telling people that he's the original and they need to come over and follow him, the original.
Right. And see, that was a red flag for me. That was an alarm for me. When I saw that video, I saw where he did that. And then he was pulling up the other people some of the other cooks and talking about the meat, and Mr. Tendernism was nowhere to be found, child. And he started saying things and excluding him. We knew when we didn't see Mr. Tendernism. Everybody's like, where's Mr. Tendernism? Where's Mr. We didn't see him. And we see him pulling out all the other cooks and saying these are the ones who are responsible for this, who's responsible for that. And we didn't see Mr. Tendernism at all. So he was setting it up. He had made his plan to exclude Mr. Tendernism and set it up like it was just his idea and his creation, and he just gonna go with it. And did he not think that we were gonna see it? And did he not realize that the main draw to all of this was Mr. Tendernism? So if you remove Mr. Tendernism, you remove pretty much all of your support, especially from the people that was following for Mr. Tendernism. And that's pretty much what I believe is going to happen. Like, no, people didn't follow because of you. We followed because of Tendernism. We thought that this was his business. It was promoted as if it was. And he was talking about how tender the meat was. And so that's what drew the majority of people there. But once you remove him, what do you think is going to happen?
Oh my God.
Once people fully realize what's going on and the full effect take place, it's going to make a big difference. Now people are going to follow Mr. Tendernism and what he has going on. And hopefully, the help that he is getting, which you'll see in this video, that people go over and follow, which I think people will. That's the reason why they followed in the first place. I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Let's continue.
He made sure to emphasize original and one and only.
Mm-hmm. Hey, this is official Mr. Tendernism coming to y'all. You know, I just got off the freeway kind of late at night, but I want to know y'all come on my page. Official Mr. Tendernism, Walter Johnson. Yes, sir. Y'all come on down now. I'm the Tendernism original. Not nobody else. The original Tendernism. Booyah.
So get this. Mr. Tenderism is in Texas right now. He's not even in California. Apparently he got fired and sent home. So we learned this from a Texas rapper named Cartel Bo. So after Cartel Bo seen this video, he reached out. And Mr. Tenderism confided in Cartel Bo, because Cartel Bo is helping Mr. Tenderism get his own restaurant and his own food truck that's already set up for him.
Right.
But Mr. Tenderism revealed to Cartel Bo that not only did he get fired, but they told him if he used Mr. Tenderism, they will sue him.
Hey, man, Texas Tendernism is in full effect, man. Them people did my boy wrong, man. They did our favorite uncle wrong as hell, bro. But we not worried about none of that, man, because we already bought the building. We got it down here. We got the barbecue truck down here. So it's connected. However you want to do it. If you want to travel or he want to work straight out his restaurant, he can do whatever you want.
Listen, I want to say shout out to him for helping Mr. Tendernism, because shout out to this brother, because we've seen so much of this happen in years past that we don't need to see this happening in this day and age. And I'm so glad that he's helping him out, and hopefully it grows and it flourishes and he benefits the way he should. People need a little boost and a little help, because others, I hate that. And why can't people just be fair and be upfront and be right, do the right thing? People are just greedy and want to take everything for themselves, and they don't give a shit about nobody else. But I'm glad he's helping him out. Let's continue.
Phone is really happening, man. The people did my man's wrong, bro. They exploited him. They exploited our uncle, man. They exploited exploited him, man. They used him, man. These racist ass white people use to the fullest of what they can get out of him. And the second he stepped away, because he was doing it out the heart, out the loyalty, they trademarked the word tendernism, fired him, and told him if he can't use it no more, we gonna sue him. So we breaking all that. That's dead. We done already trademarked another way to say tenderism. He good. We give him his own restaurant. He ain't got to pay for nothing. We coming out of pocket for everything. All we ask y'all to do is, man, bless Unc Gang, man. Go send a couple dollars to Unc, man. Y'all already know what time it is. Let's get Unc going.
This is a story as old as time. We've seen stories like this play out time after time after time after time.
Mm-hmm.
And Unc been around for a while. Yo, Unc ain't no dummy. Unc is a savvy dude, and they still was able to do it to him. The story of the creative being exploited is an age-old story, man. Unc had the sauce. Unc came into a struggling business. They admitted they were struggling.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't know where to go. They didn't have the direction. Unc came in. He had the recipes. He gave him the recipe. He had the vision. He gave him the vision. He had the business plan. He gave him the business plan.
And ain't that something? They admitted that the business was failing. They didn't know what to do. He came in with an idea, the sauce, the recipe to revive them, and then y'all turn around and do this to the man? Oh my God. I mean, they get greedy. You were struggling, and somebody came in with some knowledge and a know-how to help you, and this is what you end up doing. This is an old story that we've seen play out many times in the past. This isn't anything new, and so this is why I think when people on social media, people on TikTok spotted this. They were like, hold up, wait a minute. Let's see if Unc really owned this. Because I think for there was a lot of women and a lot of dudes, but a lot of women who were like, wait a minute. And there were people who were pushing back saying, why does he got to own it? Well, they were spot on. You got to give credit to where credit is due. They were spot on saying, wait a minute, does he own it? Because we see this other man here and what's going on. And a lot of women in particular that I saw, to be honest, caught that and they spoke on it and it was getting pushed back, but it ended up being the truth. So shout out to them for doing their investigative research, because they really did catch on to what was going on before everybody else did. Let's continue.
He had the sauce. He gave him the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
The creative turned it all around. He had the personality. Yo, what didn't Unc do for the restaurant? He gave them the recipe to make the food good. He then gave them the personality that blew him up online and then brought in all the foot traffic. He literally created a multi-million-dollar business for them for absolutely nothing, for free. And the minute they felt like they no longer need the creative because they already got the sauce, they already got the recipe, they
dropped him like a hot potato. Dropped him like a hot potato. Once they felt like they got what they needed and they didn't need him anymore, discarded him like hot stinking trash juice. That's what they did, and that's wrong, and that's slow down, baby. Let's continue.
Got everything. And now Uncle's probably talking about equity and ownership. Say, hey, we don't, I mean, it's too late. Like, you already gave up everything, bro. Bye. Now they fired him. Now guess what? He's left with nothing now. They even took his name. Y'all don't even understand how deep that is, man. Man, y'all playing, man.
Yeah, this was crazy, y'all. I don't need to hear anymore. Shout out to Flaco. He's absolutely right. They did that man dirty, but hopefully he can turn it all around with the help of people supporting him and, helping him to support his future endeavors and do what he need to do, because this is crazy. And once again, yeah, I think because he have the savvy, he has the know-how, he can definitely continue to be successful at what he does. And, how they say, that ain't gonna stop nothing. That, and then they're gonna really see where the talent lies, because guess what? Yeah, they got the recipe and all of that. Now that's a shame that man had no stake in any of that, and he helped to create it and build them up, and then this is what they do. Child, this is why you got to be careful out here and who you decide to do business with. But I'm glad people are looking out for him and helping him, and hopefully he can move on and he can do what he needs to do to regain, what he can get for himself. You know what I mean? And not let somebody just take advantage of him. Because I hate to see stuff like this. But this is part of our history. This is the fabric of this country. This is what we've seen. People have done this for years. Taking from talented Black individuals and taking the credit and using it for their own gain and making millions and millions of dollars and creating generational wealth for their families. And then the person who created it all gets nothing, and their family gets nothing. So yeah, we don't need this happening in 2026. And I'm glad, maybe them firing him was a blessing in disguise. That's how I'll look at it. Maybe them firing him and causing him, to move on was a blessing in disguise. Now he's getting the help that would hopefully propel him to be the success and the talent that he is. So listen, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. Shout out to Poetic Flaco once again for great content. Y'all chime in. Let me know your thoughts on this one. What do you think? I definitely want to hear from you, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
DeeDeesReactions.